Gentleman from Texas, Mr. Gohmert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, witnesses. Thanks for being here. I was amazed during a hearing we had with the Director of ICE to find out about the prosecutions involved in going after people who have re-entered the United States after being deported. Do any of our witnesses know what the percentage of total prosecutions by the Justice Department is for people illegally entering the country?
I do not.
Well, I was shocked when my friend Zoe Lofgren brought up that the number one area of most prosecutions was with regard to people illegally entering this country. 34.9% of the prosecutions, we were told, were for people who illegally entered the country, and a big hunk of that was people that illegally entered after being deported. So I'm just wondering, is there any coordination between Justice Department and Homeland Security? I mean, the whole purpose for having a Homeland Security was one-stop shopping so that people would work together better. And I'm just wondering about the relationship between the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security, because it sure seems like if Homeland Security did their job, you've just freed up over a third of the budget you're having to use right now for prosecutions. That frees up a massive number of jail cells. You don't even need the prisons that you've purchased because you'll have about a third of your capacity opened up for others besides those entering illegally. So I'm wondering, what's the relationship with DHS? Is there any when it comes to prosecution and how they could save you so much money and time?
Congressman, if I could start. As the Chief Financial Officer, I will readily admit that I would feel more comfortable giving you the financial perspective on that rather than the law enforcement.
Okay, then if you're going to change my question, let me change the question itself. Do you know how much you would save if we had a secure border where we weren't having to spend 34.9% of our prosecutions on people entering illegally?
That's not a number that we have calculated. I certainly don't have it at the table, but what I can say is that we do look when we formulate our budget to see what's going on at DHS so that we have some sense of what's happening on the other side because
but do you
understand the change.
But beyond looking at the budget, do you coordinate with them? You surely recognize how dramatic would be the freeing up of prison space, of prosecutors, all of those type of things if DHS would simply do the job of securing the border. And I don't mean closing it. I want immigrants coming. I'm talking about people that come that we do not want coming in.
There's no question we're very much aware of the front-end work done by DHS and how it impacts the back-end work at the Department of Justice, both on the prosecution side and the prison capacity side, not to mention the detention trustee portion of the budget or the detention portion of the budget in the Marshal Service.
Well, I know there was discussion about the cost of flights and the comment that we're doing the same thing the prior administration did when it came to personal flights, and I'm sure the Bush administration is pleased that this administration is mimicking them in any regard. But it still deserves to be analyzed a bit. If it is a personal flight, like saying I'm just going to see my kid play baseball, according to the policy, it's not law, it must be DOJ policy that the Attorney General must fly on private plane, right?
He's a required use traveler, that's right.
Okay, and that is not because of law, but because of DOJ policy that you're following from the Bush administration, correct?
No, sir. It's not DOJ policy. It's executive branch policy under OMB Circular A126.
Right, okay. But that's the point. It's not the law that we passed in Congress. This is the administration saying, we want you to fly privately, and then you can reimburse $420 for each $15,000 flight. as an example of what it costs. But that's the executive branch's decision, in this case apparently agreeing with the Bush administration. Isn't that correct?
It's an executive branch policy, that's right.
Thank you.
Gentleman's time has expired.